And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. We are live and amplified at TVision TV 16. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. Johnny Nunez, our director, here behind the scenes. And we are getting you all ready for the CIF Southern Section football playoffs. One more week of the regular season. We'll crown league champions. We'll kind of look at the playoff picture for some of these teams battling for second, third, maybe even fourth place if you're an at-large team in some of these leagues. A little bit later in the show, this is going to be awesome. We're going to have both of the Zomalt brothers on the show at the same time. Eric Zomalt at Rancho Verde, Greg Zomalt from Orange Vista. The brothers going head-to-head for a league championship in the Ivy League. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll also talk girls golf with your defending Southwestern League champion, Lauren Sammon from Vista Murrieta. So we got a big show. But leading things off right now, this guy has done our show a bunch. In fact, I don't think he's even cut his beard since the last time we've talked. It is Nick Rogers, the head football coach for your Cajon Cowboys. And, Coach, I think I asked you the same exact question last time, but when's the last time you trimmed your beard? I mean, maybe trim is okay, but actually cut your beard or shaved it off.
You know, this year I kind of cheated a little. I actually had a little longer than normal before the year started. So now I'm just in full-fledged hippie mode, as Coach Price let me know.
Well, you know what? That's more time to just focus on football and worry about the X's and O's and your opponent coming up. You got one more, Coach. You got one more week of the regular season, and then it's off the playoffs, obviously, for your team. But when you look at the whole body of work this season, what has stuck out to you about this Cowboys team? I say the defense. The defense has been awesome all season long. But when you look at the whole season, what has really stood out to you about this Cajon football team this year?
Yeah, I mean, the defense has been, outstanding this whole year. And it's been that way for the last few years. I mean, we played really good defense, one of the better defensive teams in the area for sure. Offensively, we've been a little slower to pick up. Partly, we spend our spring and summer going against our defense. So we're a little behind on trying to catch up with some of the stuff with the amount of man coverage and stuff that we would see in practice. So we're starting to kind of hit a little, in stride, kind of settled in on some positions, and things have gotten a lot better there. So, I guess the constant thing that we've been doing is just improving each week.
So you guys are 8-1 going into your final game against Rev on Thursday night. What are you hoping to see from your team in this final regular season CBL game before you get to the playoffs? Is it a chance to maybe work on some things, maybe see some guys play that you haven't seen a whole lot of? What are you hoping to see on Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get the guys going. I mean, it's obviously a great time. It's senior night for us, so we get a chance to get some seniors some time in there. But we want to see us, especially offensively, executing. We had moments against Beaumont. We looked really good. And then we had a few moments in which they were kind of head scratchers. So I'd like to see more consistency on offense, defensively, just continue to do what they're doing. I mean, I don't think I'd have to look at it, but I don't know if anyone's got over 100 yards on them in league yet. So just the stuff that they're doing is outstanding. And hopefully we continue that, that trend with them.
Coach, you've had some really big names on the defensive side of the football. I'm thinking of like the Jeremiah Martins, of course, Nick Figueroa. But this year, I feel like it's more balanced across the board. You've got some great players who will go Division I, but I feel like across the board, maybe as a unit, this is a really strong defense. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, our secondary's been, we challenge people. We're up in their face in all the man coverage that we run. And obviously the Chapman twins, it's, about 6'2", 6'3", able to run the way they run, pose a huge problem for a lot of the receivers. Now, and then you start talking about our D-line and the pressure that they provide. PJ Lee, for us, is as good of a player as we've had here. I put him right there with, the Jeremiahs, the Nick Figueroas, and the Gusta, those type of kids. He's every bit as good as those kids, and we expect big things from him at the next level.
Yeah, that throws me a curveball because he wears number 88, and I expect him to, be catching passes like from the tight end spot or something. But he's like a DN, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, he'd want to do that too. I mean, he got that number as a sophomore. He ended up, starting, and then, he's looking to change his number. And I said, hey, they know you as 88. Let's keep it going. So he stuck with it and made it his own.
All right, Coach, you're already at least a share of that CBL title this year. You can win it outright on Thursday night against Rev, which will be 6 straight CBL titles. So the other night, sitting on the couch with my wife, and she's watching TV. I think it was the Great British Baking Show or something. And she's like, oh, you really got to see this part. It's really good. And I'm over there on my phone, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going back year by year to make sure I know exactly how many league wins Cajon has. And I think it's 32. Unless my wife distracted me, I think it's 32, not counting Rev this week.
Yeah, well, it was somewhere around in that area. I honestly don't know where we're at in terms of those, but it's a nice little streak to have. Hopefully, we continue that this week.
Coach, for your seniors especially, do you guys talk about legacy and about continuing this tradition that Cajon has built? And there's a very strong foundation of some really great teams and great players. Do you guys talk about that much, or maybe amongst the seniors they talk about that, about continuing this tradition, this legacy? Yeah,
we that's kind of been a theme for us this whole year. We came in with saying this season was a little personal. We felt some people were overlooking these guys for, we graduated such a large senior group last year, really talented kids that have been around for, the last 4 years, winning league titles in this group, but we felt was a little overlooked. So we accepted that as our motto this year. We've kind of lived up to that. We talk about it each week with the kids during our team dinners. Kids get up and they'll speak differently about it, but it's something that these kids are really proud of. Something they want to continue, and nobody wants to be the team that loses the streak. So this group's got one more to secure that, and then we'll see what next year's group can do.
Coach, we've talked a little bit about defense. Let's talk about offense, because Jaquan Smith is obviously one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in our area. I think of him as a wide receiver, but I've seen him running the football for you. Is he just one of those guys where you're just trying to find easy ways to put the ball in his hands and let him make plays?
Yeah, I learned that. That was a mistake I probably made, years back when I had guys, like a Darren Jones, was not moving him around nearly enough as I should have. And so that's kind of something I've been doing with Jaquan, is just moving him around, making sure he gets, 15, at least 15 times touching the football, because what he does, it's pretty magical when he gets going. And if he gets in the open field, good luck catching him. He's that kind of, talent. So, we just want to keep moving him around, make the defense find him each time, and let him, get the football as much as we can.
So, Coach, as we're talking, we're looking at some video from your win last week against Beaumont. And there's Jaquan Smith, busting off one of his long touchdown runs in that game. Offensively, do you feel like this team has gotten better as the season progressed? Like you guys are, farther along than you were in week 0 or week 1 for you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think our offensive line play has been getting a lot better. We were we've had different groups kind of mixing up. We're kind of solidified a group now. So, they're getting better. We've kind of settled in on one quarterback. I know we'll mix in a couple just in some different sets, but, in reality, it's just been getting a little bit more fluid, as the season's gone on, and kids are getting more confident. And again, when you got guys like Jaquan Smith and Mike Anderson getting them the ball, good things will happen.
All right, finally, Coach, I know it's hard to predict where you will end up in the playoffs, but I think at least in your case, it looks like Division II. We'll find out on Sunday when the brackets were unveiled by the CIF Southern Section. But do you feel the same way? Like there's probably no other scenario where you guys would end up in a different division than 2. Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, I mean, if we take care of business on Thursday, then we're going to be in Division II. I don't think there's any way around that. We were in it last year. We know it's highly competitive, tough division to play in with some of the better schools around. So we'll welcome the challenge. It's something that we've kind of we've talked about it with the kids early on, saying this is what we want to do. We don't we want to continue to build this program. So we're trying to work our way to get to it, be able to talent-wise and skill-wise and coaching-wise be able to play at the Division I level. So that's a goal here. So it looks like Division II this year. We'll see what happens and go from there.
Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. I really do. Best of luck this week against Rev in your final regular season game. And, of course, we'll all find out Sunday who you guys are playing in the first round of the playoffs. But, Coach, Always appreciate, love our conversations, and best of luck the rest of the way. Hopefully you've got several more games still to go this season.
Yeah, I got to get a few more inches on this thing, so let's hopefully get this taken care of.
Let's hope. Let's hope. That is Nick Rogers, head football coach for the Cajon Cowboys here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach. Really appreciate it. All right, that's going to take us into our first commercial break of the night. When we come back, we'll take a look at Week 9 of the high school football season. Also look ahead to Week 10. Very important games coming up here in the IE. We'll be right back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? Boostman here, going to break you off with a quick 2 cent. Listen, being consistent is a powerful asset in your athletic development. Consistency in your training and preparation, consistency in your nutrition, and more importantly, consistency in a philosophy. I see so many young athletes bouncing around from one wave to the next, not knowing that if you can't be consistent in anything, you can never be anything. Boostman.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
CBU basketball is the most exciting sports experience in the Inland Empire and the best value in Southern California. See every dunk, every magic play, and every win. Inside the beautiful CBU Event Center, Southern California's newest NCAA Division I arena.
Nobody wants the Houston Astros to win it all, but they've been dominant. This is their 4th trip to the World Series in the last 6 years. When you look at the run they've had, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh, they had a one-hit wonder. They had one good season. It's because they cheated. No, they've been good, for at least the past 6 years. So, credit to them. I know people don't want to hear that, but they've had a heck of a run.
And you're right about Dusty Baker. Credit to him to put it all together, put out the fire, and get it back on track.
Yeah, he was the grown-up, right, that came into the room and said, okay, I'm going to get these guys back on track. I'm going to clean things up. Big shout-out to our guy, Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School. He is the starting quarterback for the LSU Tigers, beating number 7 Ole Miss, beating Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, giving them their first loss of the season. It was 45-20, and Jaden Daniels had 5 total touchdowns in that win. Man, he looks really, really good right now.
And Ole Miss is not a bad team. No. They're a good team.
Yeah, 7th in the nation. They were undefeated.
Jaden went Jaden on him.
He did. And, local football fans are like, oh, yeah, we've seen that before. Yeah, he's done that to a lot of high school football teams in the area.
And we are back again talking at Jaden Daniels on KCAL 96.7 FM. You can check it out every Monday and Thursday morning about 9:30 a.m. talking sports with my guy Patrick in the morning. That's KCAL 96.7 FM. All right, as we look at Week 9 of the high school football season in the rearview mirror and also look ahead to Week number 10, which is coming up Thursday and Friday this week, pass out our weekly awards. And let's start with our Week 9 Inland Sports All-Stars. We pick 5 every week, and we got some good ones this week. Let's start with the Rancho Verde running back Dylan Riley. Finally, this guy's been having a great year. Finally got him on the big board here. 140 yards on just 12 carries and 2 touchdowns in that big win for Rancho Verde to set up this Ivy League championship game against Orange Vista. Eisenhower QB. Big Frank Gutierrez, 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to lead Eisenhower over Summit in a key Sunkist League game. Redlands DB Jaden Woods recovered a fumble for a touchdown with 20 seconds left to give Redlands a 20-19 win against Redlands East Valley in the old Smudge Pot game. That was a big win for the Terriers. Great Oak on pace to win a Big West Conference lower division league title. They got a big win last week thanks to QB Cole Vasquez, 236 through the air, 3 touchdowns for Cole. And finally, Aquinas QB Trey Robles passing for 274 and 3 touchdowns as the Falcons picked up a big win on the road against Ontario Christian, and that all but clinched the Ironwood League title for the Falcons. At least a share. They can win it outright this week when they take on Big Bear. So it looks like Aquinas is going to hang another league championship banner out there for football. All right, time now for our big boost play of the week. And we're going out to Ramona versus Norte Vista. And it was Bo Bruins. Man, he had himself a ball game. 4 touchdowns for the Ram High running back. And this one going 70 yards on the scoot all the way to the paint for Bo Bruins. He had over 200 yards on the ground. 4 touchdowns in all. We picked that one because it was the longest. It was 70 yards, and that's our big boost play of the week, and that gives Ramona at least a share of the River Valley League title. They can win it outright this week against Patriot, and as Rams head coach Ken Mashinsky said, the big win against Norte Vista does not matter unless they take care of business this week against Patriot. So Ram High and Patriot will be on Riverside TV this week. It could be a historic game for Ramona. They have not won an outright league championship in more than 30 years. All right, time now for the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game, and we're going to have both head coaches on the show coming up just a little bit later. It is Orange Vista versus Rancho Verde. Winner take all. The winner of this game will be the outright league champion. Both teams at 3-1 in Ivy League play, and I probably buried the lead, but it's brother versus brother. Greg Zomalt at Orange Vista, Eric Zomalt at Rancho Verde, 2 of the finest human beings and head coaches in our land, and they're going to go head-to-head with a league championship on the line. So it does not get any bigger than this. Can't wait to have those guys on the show in our final segment, so stick around for that. All right, so that's the big game. That's the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. Let's take a look at some of the other top games coming up in Week 10 because, again, trying to decide league champions, trying to decide who's going to get into the playoffs. All right, in the Arrowhead Athletic Conference, Rim of the World taking on Grand Terrace. That is your San Andreas League title game. The winner is your outright league champ. So that is a straight-up league championship game right there. Summit versus Jurupa Hills. Now, as we record the show, we have heard that Summit will likely forfeit their game this week because of an incident with Eisenhower in the previous week, and Eisenhower might have to forfeit their game against Kaiser this week. So, still waiting on the official word on that, but if it happens, that would be one of the biggest games of the week for sure. But right now, Jurupa Hills in the driver's seat for that Sunkist League title. Centennial versus Norco in the Big West Conference. Centennial trying to cap it off with another undefeated mark, and Norco trying to do their best to strengthen their case for the postseason. Right now, it looks like Chaparral will finish in second place in that league. Norco probably in third, but some important games still to go. Liberty against Tahquitz, that is for second place in the Mountain Pass League. Congrats to the Bison on a great year. First varsity season, but Tahquitz, they can score points in bunches. That's going to be a lot of fun when those two teams get together this week on Thursday night. We got Beaumont and Yucaipa in the Citrus Belt League. That is for third place and basically a playoff spot. You don't want to leave it up to be an at-large team. If you win that game, you are in third in the CBL. Ramona versus Patriot. Ramona trying to cap off the outright league title. Patriot trying to strengthen their case for a postseason spot. Chris Fowler and the guys have had a great season. Can they pull off the upset this week against Ram High? And finally, Elsinore against Temescal Canyon. The winner of this game keeps their playoff hopes alive in the Ivy League. So those are the Week 10 games. top games brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods to keep an eye on. All right, and finally, as we wrap up this segment, let's take a look at our Big Boost Top 25 poll. And listen, the biggest climber is Chaparral. If you beat Vista Murrieta and Murrieta Valley and Norco in consecutive weeks, you got to climb. So the Pumas go all the way up to number 4. So congrats to Chaparral, 5-4 on the season. All their wins have been big wins this season. Congrats to the Pumas. On the opposite side, starting at 11, it's a real logjam. It's really hard to say it right now because a lot of those teams are very, very, very close to one another. It looks like Great Oak will be your Big West Conference Lower Division champion. They come in at 13, but not far behind them. We got Murrieta Mesa, Temecula Valley. King is down there. King will play Murrieta Mesa this week. That's another huge game coming up. There's Grand Terrace at 19. They got Rim of the World coming up for that league championship. And a little bit farther down the line, Kaiser and Yucaipa holding on in the top 25. Both teams at 5-4. So that's our Boost Top 25 poll after Week 9. And we will continue to do the rankings as long as we have local teams in the Inland Sports Show coverage area playing. And I think we got a bunch of teams poised to make deep CIF Southern Section playoff runs. We will see, but we will update the poll next week as we conclude the regular season. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we will tee it up and talk some girls golf with Vista Murrieta and their league champion, Lauren Sammon. Back-to-back league championships for her, and also going back to her freshman season, a CIF Southern Section individual title as well. So we'll talk some Bronco girls golf when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
What up, y'all? Boostman here, gonna break you off with a quick 2 cent. Listen, being consistent is a powerful asset in your athletic development. Consistency in your training and preparation, consistency in your nutrition, and more importantly, consistency in a philosophy. I see so many young athletes bouncing around from one wave to the next, not knowing that if you can't be consistent in anything, you can never be anything. Boostman.
Everybody would do it. I am gifted. You gotta join the movement. That light inside of you is shining so bright. Just gotta dig deep, find it, embrace it, and let it shine. Gateway to heaven, open up.
Madison up the middle. He's got room. Leaps. Touchdown.
And when it comes to this life, it feel like I can't win. That's why I do everything with no strings attached. Oh, no strings attached. Oh, no strings attached.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. Talking some girls golf right now. And wow, she's coming off another league championship in the Southwestern League, which always has some great golfers and great programs. Vista Murrieta's Lauren Sammon and head coach Ryan Hiese joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. And first off, congrats, Lauren, on another Southwestern League championship. But I feel like you probably have bigger goals. I know a league title is an awesome thing, but you probably have big goals this season. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, obviously league is important, but there's also lots of steps after that are big goals for me this year. I've never made it to state, so that's one thing that I'm going to go for this year.
So, Lauren, you're a CIF champion as a freshman. Is that correct? An individual title. Is that correct?
Yeah, freshman year.
So, Coach, let me go to you on this. I mean, as a freshman, to win a CIF Southern Section individual title, like that's off the charts. It's like it's unbelievable. You've been around golf a long time. You've had some great golfers come through Vista Murrieta. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I haven't. It was an incredible day. I mean, I can still remember it vividly. Just, I told her mom, I go, she can win this thing. I go, and then when she did win it, I said, she has no idea what she did, because she may never have an opportunity to do this again, because you have to play so well on those particular days to win that that particular day she played lights out.
So, Coach, let's fast forward to now. Like, how do you think Lauren has grown as a golfer, maybe improved her game to give her a shot at her big goals, like she mentioned, get to the state tournament?
Yeah, I mean, her driver consistency has been a lot better in the last couple of years. She's definitely improved there. I think her mental game, getting around the course, her course management, she understands her game a bit better. But she's definitely gotten a little bit longer, and she was already one of the longer players in the Southern section. So, I think if her short game gets to where she can play, where I've seen it before, where her putting is spot on, there's no telling how far she can go.
Yeah, that's exciting. And Lauren, let me go back to you. How were you first introduced to golf? Did you have a sibling, or did your parents play? Like, how were you first introduced to the sport?
My dad played for fun after college. And so he started me off when I was around 6 years old, and the only thing I could do was putt at that point. So it just started off with short game and eventually grew into this.
So, Lauren, what do you enjoy most about the golf? Because it's about the golf game, because it's very solitary, and you're out there, you're kind of battling yourself, I guess you could say, on the course out there. So, what do you enjoy most about it?
I'd say probably the driver. I always love just getting up to the tee, having an open fairway, and just smashing it as hard as I can and seeing that ball fly.
Maybe you had a hard chemistry test or whatever at school, and you're getting your frustration out, just letting it rip off the tee. Coach, let me go to you on this one. At this point in the season, how much coaching is taking place, and how much, is it a balance between letting Lauren be Lauren and also, maybe giving her some advice where she needs it at certain points?
Yeah, for sure. She, for the most part, knows exactly what she needs to do and when to do it, and kind of what clubs to select. But, we have a little bit of back and forth to just kind of, sometimes settle the nerves a little bit, or just kind of, there's a complicated hole, just, okay, what's your aiming point here? What are you looking for? What are you thinking? Just to kind of get her head in the right spot. And, but again, she knows what she needs to do, and she's usually in a real good spot to do that.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. I think she was the Press Enterprise Athlete of the Week this past week for what she did and on the links. When you look at what Lauren's been able to do this year, and you just heard her big goal is the state tournament, do you feel like as far as she's come in a short amount of time that the sky's still the limit? Like there's so much more that she could still do, or maybe even improve on her game to reach those big goals? Like she still has ways to improve her game and be even better than what we've seen so far.
Oh, for sure. She'll tell you, her certain things come and go. That's just the game of golf. Like, her ball striking her freshman year was unbelievable. And she'll attest to it. Like she's missed some shots and it's not as consistent as it was, but again, she could be there in a week. It literally, she's that good at correcting and figuring things out that, like you said, the sky is the limit. I mean, if she puts her entire game together, you saw it last week. That 65 she shot, she put everything together. The day before, if she had put everything together, she probably would have shot 64. And she's that close. So, I'm excited. I get to see her one more year and she gets to finish out this season. I'm excited to see what she does now. And when she, finally commits to a college, where she goes and what she does, I'm very excited to see what she's going to do.
And Coach, real quick, that 65, that was a course record, wasn't it, out there at Hemet?
Yeah, that's according to the SCGA website, 66 was the course record, and so that 65 should stand.
Wow, that is so cool. Lauren, so what, beyond Vista Murrieta, what are your goals? Is it, to get a scholarship? Do you want to be on the LPGA? Like what the, pie in the sky? What's, take me down like maybe 5-7 years from now. What are you doing?
I definitely want to play college golf. That's a huge thing that I've always been looking forward to my whole life. I love the team aspect of sports, and with golf, you kind of don't really get that a lot. So when I got to high school, I kind of got a little glimpse at what that could be. And so college is just going to be an unbelievable experience in terms of being a part of a team and playing for a school, kind of like I am now. LPGA, that's something that it's far off if I want to end up doing that. So I think that's just going to be a decision for like where I'm at with my golf game at that time.
All right, Coach, let me go back to you on this one. This is no slight against, the rest of the Southwestern League, but when you've got a golfer of Lauren's caliber, how do you keep her focused, and how is she pushing herself to maybe improve and be better each and every week in each and every tournament?
Yeah, right now, especially this part of the season, the biggest advice I gave her was just stay in the moment, because I know she's got the game for it. I want her to enjoy this experience. And, that's kind of what I told her the day she shot the 65. I said, just stay in the moment, enjoy this. She already had a 7-shot lead. Everybody in the place knew she was going to win. It was just by how much was she going to win by. So it's just for her, just kind of, enjoying what she's doing, keeping the game fun. And then all the technical stuff will, it'll take care of itself.
Well, Lauren, so here we are. We're getting to the nitty-gritty of, postseason play right now for girls golf. What are some areas you feel like that you can still clean up and improve to maybe make a run at a state title, an individual state title?
You can always nitpick and improve at everything. I think one thing that I think would really help my game is cleaning up the putting, making those 15-foot putts and really putting the time into getting the speed and the break right in order to get those birdie putts that really change around. Cleaning up my ball striking, making sure that I'm in the fairway every time, not having those one shot around that's off, that kind of costs you, would be some of the things that would really improve.
So, Lauren, after a great round of golf, maybe even at 65 during the league finals, do you go home that night and think about all the great shots you made, or do you think about the shots that you left out there on the course that you should have made?
I think it's a healthy combo of both. You're sitting there going, wow, that was a great putt. And then you're sitting there also thinking, man, if I only hit that one ball straight, what could the round have been? So just kind of looking back, seeing what I can learn from it. At the end of the day, you can only take what you can learn. There's no point in sitting there regretting everything. You just want to take what happened, learn from it, and then capitalize on what was good.
That's awesome. And finally, Coach, it sounds like the best is yet to come still for Lauren here, who's a junior. I mean, it sounds like she, as much as she's already accomplished, it sounds like that the sky's the limit still for her. Not just this season, but like you said, you still have her for another year as a senior.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's won a CIF tournament once each of her first 2 years. So, I mean, how you improve on that, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna do the best she can to try to match that or better it. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see what the future holds for not only at the interscholastic level but also at the intercollegiate level.
Yeah, same here. Coach Hiese, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on another great season. And Lauren, congratulations. I know, again, you still have hopefully several more tournaments still in front of you as you chase that state championship as well. So, Lauren, Coach Hiese, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. Really do appreciate it. And best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Pep.
Thank you so much.
You got it. You guys are the best. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. Vista Murrieta girls golf here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to take another quick commercial break here. When we come back, more high school football as we preview the Ivy League title game with Rancho Verde head coach Eric Zomalt and Orange Vista head coach Greg Zomalt next.
What up, guys? Boost May here at the Boost Performance Center. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team? Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks to Vista Murrieta Girls Golf and their star Lauren Sammon for joining us here on the show. But it's right back to high school football, and this is an honor, and we're fired up about it. It's a big game for a league championship. It'll be live on Team Vision TV 16 this coming week. It's the Ivy League title, Rancho Verde against Orange Vista. And Johnny, we got to pull the tape because I said back in July or August, I'm like, I got a feeling week 10, these two schools are going to meet for a league championship, and here we are. It's both head coaches and their brothers, of course. Eric Zomalt at Rancho Verde, Greg Zomalt at Orange Vista. We got the guys on the show together, and this is an honor. This is so cool, guys, and I really appreciate you both taking time out of your busy week schedule to prepare, obviously, for a very important game. And I know Rancho Verde is the home school, so I'll start with Eric over there on the end. Eric, just some general thoughts about not only playing for a league title, but obviously you're going to know the head coach on the opposite sideline a little bit.
Yeah, no, Pep, you did call it, and I said I hope the game has some meaning, and and it does. Like, it's for a league championship, so it's exactly what you would hope for in a Week 10. Not even cross town, down the street rival, and so it's gonna be super exciting. It'll be by far the biggest turnout that we've had this year at a home game. So. And of course, it's my big brother, so that's an even added element to it. But there's a lot of exciting components to this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Pep, when you said that, when you predicted that back in probably August, I want to say, I looked at our league, I looked at how young my team was, and my quarterback and the whole deal, and I thought, man, it would be great, but man, we're in a league with some really good teams, and I was just hoping that when we got to this game that it would have meaning besides just bragging rights. I already knew it was going to be bragging rights. It was going to be a cross-town rivalry thing and a brother thing, but man, this just makes it all the much sweeter, having to play for something more than just the bragging rights.
Greg, I'll start with you on this one. I'm sure obviously there's mixed emotions because you want to win a league championship, but you probably look across the way and you're like, man, I'm happy for Eric because he finally got things going. After a slow start at Rancho, they're winning some football games and now they've got some meaningful games late in the season. And same thing for you, Eric. You're probably looking at Orange Vista where, you were with your brother and, they were 1-2 points away from being undefeated right now. So Greg, let me start with you. Is it kind of mixed emotions? Because obviously you want to win a league championship, but you're happy for your brother that they were able to, get some wins in league play.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Pep, man, I'm doing this because of you. I mean, I doing the interview and stuff, but man, really, it's pretty nerve wracking, man. It's the first time in my life that I'm actually in something that's of value besides a Madden football game or a video game, that I'm actually going against my brother. It's the first time. I mean, we've had our growing up sibling rivalry type stuff growing up. But as we got into, the real world, it was always us against the world. So yeah, it's a real mixed kind of deal. I knew it was going to happen because we're on the schedule, we're down the street, and I knew people were going to really push the brother thing, man. But it really is a special event for this school. It's a special event for both schools, and along with it, I get to play, I get to compete against my brother for the first time. So it is definitely mixed. It's going to be fun this Friday when we get that dub, and I'm not going to pretend that that's what I intend to not do. But yeah, it's got to be our school against each other, but at the same time, it's me going against my younger brother. So makes it pretty special.
Eric, obviously you guys know each other very well and your coaching styles and what you like to do and stuff. Does it make it harder to game plan for something like this?
No, not really. I mean, when you put the tape on, you can see I know my brother is a hyper competitive person. And so you can see that reflected in his team. This, and just being honest, I'm not sugarcoating this or anything. I have no reason to exaggerate. This is the most aggressive and intense they've ever looked. And so my brother has built this program to this point. And so they are a reflection of him. And I've always said that, the team is a reflection of the coaches. And so when when it's taken some time, he's had some good teams, he's had some good talent, and it's really kind of reached this point where it's all kind of going in the same direction. You can see that he has their full attention, and they're playing. They're as aggressive and explosive as any team I've seen on film this year.
And Eric, let me follow up with you real quick about your team. Obviously non-league didn't go, exactly as planned, but you get to league play and you start to sort things out a little bit. You get a couple wins, and now you do have a meaningful game here in week number 10. How proud of you of, just your team, just staying the course and not giving up. You guys didn't fold, you didn't give up, and now you got a chance to maybe win a league title.
I'm super proud of these kids, man. They carry the burden of the tradition and the history of one of the most, successful programs in the history of the IE. And so, it's not, a little unfair for them to be kind of judged by that same, barometer. But it is what it is. Like, you can't run away from it. It's the gift and the curse of being, a Mustang. And so people expect a lot, and that's okay. Like, pressure is a privilege. So I appreciate the fact that they kind of, like you said, stayed the course. And, we just kept pushing and fighting and trying to find our, identity. And we're still in that process right now. And Friday night is just another opportunity for us to go against an excellent team, a well-coached team, an explosive team, talented team, and then just kind of measure where we are. This wasn't going to be like an overnight. I didn't make any promises to anybody except my best effort. And so our kids have bought in, and they could have folded, when, we came out of non-league offer, and but they hung tough, and we're reaping the benefits. We have an opportunity Friday night to, do something that I think a month ago nobody would have expected for us to compete for a league championship. So I'm super proud of those boys and our coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Greg, let me go to you. I mean, on your side of the football, for the Coyotes, you guys have been great all season long. Again, a point or two, if you take that Elsinore game, you guys could be working on an undefeated season. What's the message to your team this week in terms of just, hey guys, let's finish the job. We've come for, we've had a great season. Let's not let it unravel here at the end, because you guys, again, could be undefeated right now.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Pep. It's staying focused, staying the course. Man, I have a great coaching staff, man. We've been together most of my guys been together for 5 years. And we are right in line with the same message from our coaching staff, from the principal all the way down to the water girl, to the, any player on the team, is that, man, if we stay the course, we're pretty good. But when we get unfocused and we start smelling ourselves and thinking like we've arrived and we're really that special, then that's when we kind of lose focus and have those hiccups. Elsinore, not to take credit away from them, but I think we kind of lacked the focus that week. It showed in practice. Coaches, we were pointing it out, and at the same time, we're the kids are a reflection of the coach. So I took that as a challenge to myself to never let our kids, be in a position where we haven't prepared them. And I felt like at that point we hadn't prepared them for that type of a game, a league championship. That's what we were saying, that, Elsinore was one of the top favorite teams in the league. And we were looking at that game as, man, this could be the, what turns out to be determining the league championship. I'm thankful to the Rancho Verde Mustangs that they put an L on their record, and then North also made it even tougher for them. So it put us in position to play for an outright league championship, and that's all you can ask for, man. I got a young team, but I got really good coaches, and I got support of my admin and the community supporting, and I got ASB behind us. Everybody's fired up about this game, and everybody knows what it means besides just the bragging rights, and so I'm just excited, man, and I'm excited for our kids, and I'm really excited for my coaches, because they don't always get the credit they deserve.
Well, guys, I don't know how much you communicate during the season, but Greg, you just brought it up. That was it was a huge win for Rancho Verde to stay in the hunt for a league title, but beating Elsinore was, obviously huge for Orange Vista as well. Was there a text message or anything between you guys after Rancho beat Elsinore?
Yeah, I congratulated my bro, and he had something funny to say. I don't know if want to share it, but some brother stuff there. But yeah, I was proud of him. And like I said, man, through all this, it's emotional and it's weird, but I'm so proud of my brother, man. And that was another proud moment as a Zomalt, as a big brother Zomalt, and just being, a part of this whole experience. And so, yeah, I congratulate him, because it was, I honestly didn't know if they could pull it off, and they did. And it was big for the program. It was big. And I also want to say, man, it was impressive that, man, when you go 0-5, they call it losing the kids. At 0-5, you're supposed to lose the kids, and then they just go into the tank. And so that's one of the most impressive things. My brother's never been in this position where he's got to kind of pull the kids up like that. We've always gotten the kids in their psychology and their psyche, I should say, and get them to believe and have confidence. But man, he's got them playing with some confidence, and he's positioned himself. And not to give him too many compliments because we got to get him on Friday. But man, I'm impressed with the job he's done, and that's what it is. I'm just proud of him.
All right, guys, finally, obviously your sweet mother, Charlene's the biggest football fan around. I'm just curious, what is she going to do on Friday night? She probably, has mixed emotions about everything going on.
She's got her grandsons on the team, so I don't fault her for showing.
There's a little Rancho Verde favoritism because her grandsons.
And that's fine, but I'm sure we've talked and stuff, so she's gonna try to split her time on the sidelines and and try to keep it
neutral.
Yeah, keep it neutral, but I understand, and then after next year, then it needs to be a little more balanced. But yeah, no, I understand.
All right, guys, let's end it on a positive, warm and fuzzy note. So, Greg, I'm going to ask you, what do you think makes Eric a great head coach? And Eric, I'm going to ask you, what do you think makes Greg a great head coach? So, Greg, I'll start with you.
Yeah, you froze up for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, froze up. Man, I could talk for hours about my little brother, man. I've always been impressed with him. I've always looked up to him, even though he's a little brother. But he's a great human being. He's a great example of manhood to these young men, these young boys going into manhood. And he's a genius of a football mind. And so it's an honor of mine to go against him. It's going to be an honor to beat him. And that's what it is. So I'm going to keep it warm and fuzzy, but I'm going to keep it competitive. So, but yeah, he's just a genius and a good man, and ends up being a good coach.
All right. Very good. How about you, Eric?
My brother is, I don't even know if I know anybody who's more competitive than him. He might be the most competitive person I know. And so even right now, as he's trying to give me a compliment, he's got to give me a little bit of after we beat him Friday night, he can continue being a genius, every other day. But, so it's just that's what I know. And his kids, to his credit, they're playing at that super hyper competitive, and that was always our goal, back at the Hills, man, we got to go. We had irrational confidence was our motto. We're coming to it. We will line it up against anybody. And so you can see it on film, and it doesn't always translate on film. Sometimes, kids will, in certain games or situations, they'll play with confidence and play hard. They play hard all the time, and it's aggressive, and I'm excited to line up against it.
Well, guys, listen, I really appreciate your time. Listen, I know it's a very busy, hectic week. It's an important week with a league championship on the line. And so, again, taking out 15, 20 minutes here to join us on the Inland Sports Show, I really do appreciate that both of you guys. You're two of my favorites. I look up to you guys. I know a lot of football coaches in the area look up to you guys as well. So people are reaching out to me, asking me, before I even reached out to you guys, they were saying, hey, you got to get the Zomalts on. I'm like, I know, I do got to get them on, so I will try. So thank you guys so much. I know a lot of people were looking forward to this interview.
Thanks, Press. I appreciate it, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday, man. And I'm gonna tell you, get there early because it's gonna be packed.
For sure. Appreciate you, Pep.
Yes, sir. That is Eric Zomalt on the end, head football coach at Rancho Verde. Greg Zomalt in the middle, head football coach at Orange Vista. And again, the game's at Rancho Verde. If you can't make it out there, it'll be live on Teen Vision TV 16. But we'd love to pack that place, get it loud, and for a league title on the line. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the time. All right, so that's the Zomalt brothers breaking down the Ivy League title. And again, there's the graphic on the screen. Mustangs and Coyotes going head-to-head for the Ivy League championship. It's going to be a lot of fun. Two great coaches, two great programs, and with so much at stake with a league championship. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. Big shout-out to our director behind the scenes, Johnny Nunez, here at Teen Vision TV 16. The next time I see you, it'll be playoff time. We'll break down the CIF Southern Section playoffs. We'll find out which teams are going into their respective playoff divisions. We'll break it all down. We'll have more great interviews as well. And as teams begin to take that first step right towards CIF titles this fall. My name is Pep Fernandez. Stay safe out there. God bless you guys. And we will see you next time on the Inland Sports Show.